What's going on, guys? How are you? How are you doing? This is Shox, and this is ShocksCapital YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to show you how to trade with liquidity and how to actually treat liquidity when you're trading and what is liquidity. So that's what I'm going to show you. This strategy I'm going to show you anchors on liquidity and anchors on you understanding what liquidity is. So here is what I'm going to do. Right, so liquidity just means a bunch of orders in the market, right? So where are orders coming from, right? Orders are coming from retail traders, right? So retail traders most of the times are using chart patterns to put their orders, and most orders are above the highs and below the below the lows. And there are three patterns that show you the most orders in the market. So we are looking at at a double top, right? And a double bottom, right? These are the three orders that these are the three patterns that actually accumulate more orders in the market and a trend line, right? So these are the three patterns that you need to understand when you're looking at liquidity. Remember, we want to simplify what liquidity is and how to use it when you are trading. So number one, what you need to do is when you see a double top like this, it means there are a lot of orders above this. Either take profits with stop losses, stop orders, any type of order, you can find it above the above the double top, and that is the same for for a double bottom. That is what you are going to be seeing. And on the trend line, you are going to see that most often than not, price is just going to blitz through a trend line and break that, meaning there is liquidity on all the highs and all the lows on this one, on this channel. So it means that you are going to be looking at this as your way of entering a trade, a way of mapping out of your trades, or a way of managing your trade. So those are the three things that you're going to be using liquidity for. Number one, entries. Number two, managing your trades. Number three, you're going to be using this to actually map out your trades or project where price is going. So I'm going to show you on this chart on the ODSD how you are going to be looking at liquidity. And remember, this works for any type of commodity. I'm just going to show you on ODSD, but you can apply this on indices, you can apply this on commodities, you can apply this on energies, anything that you think of that is represented by a candlestick, you can apply these concepts. So what I'm going to show you here is applicable to anything that can be traded. So let's just jump right into it and look at the double top and the double bottom, how price is what is used, or how this pattern is manipulated to get your money, right? So if you don't know how to look for liquidity, you are the liquidity, right? So it's as simple as that. So from what you are seeing here, we have a double bottom here. This is a double bottom, which means there is money below this one, below this double bottom. Then after this double bottom, price goes away, right? Goes away and gives you another double top at this particular zone. So this double top that you're seeing, it means that there is there is money resting at this particular zone. Then price comes and gives you another another money making pattern, right? So when you are at this particular point, you can clearly see that we have we have an order block in this area and a flip zone, which means this might actually be a criteria of you entering this particular trade. So when you enter, what you are going to do is you are going to spot this liquidity, right? And know that price is going to just take out this liquidity and continue. When this liquidity is taken out, it means that when you are entering your trade at this particular zone, this might actually be your target or your take profit. Then look at what price did. It gets to that liquidity, takes the money, comes back and forms another another money making machine, which is the double bottom, as you can see. And I want you to see here how price treated that particular liquidity page, and it just threw its it pins there and went away. It means that you had someone, we had who was in this who was in this buy, and yet your stop loss is just below this particular double low, you were going to see that your stop losses were going to be taken by by this move right there, and price goes away. And when price goes away again, I want you to see this very carefully. It forms a plethora of of liquidity here. You have this low, we have this high, we have this high, this high, that high, and that high. So there is a lot of money there, and look at how price is treated at that particular zone. You see what price is doing. We have another bottom here. So people might actually saying, no, the price just took out, so we can put our stop loss just above there, and I want you to see what happened there again. So this is how liquidity is being treated. So what you want to do as a trader, if you want to use liquidity as entry criteria or in your entries, you need to understand that you have to wait for price to take its orders, then enter, right? You have to wait for price to take its orders, then what? Then enter. So when price takes liquidity, goes away, the retest is your what? Is your play. This is what you want to be doing, right? We have a double bottom here, and this is liquidity. Look at what price did. It just came, took liquidity, and went away. So if you are to enter, you are going to use this order block to enter, because this was an indication of liquidity taken, and this retest now is your chance to actually be involved in this particular trade. So here I'm actually waiting for price to take out. You remember when we started, we were talking about this liquidity, and this liquidity is right here. So I'm expecting price to take out this liquidity first, just below this one, this low. Take the liquidity, go back here, and come and take the liquidity that is in this particular zone, because all the liquidity that was happening here were being anchored or protected by this particular what? By this particular double bottom. So it means that once everything is done at this particular zone, price will come and take the final boss of liquidity, which is at this particular zone, and continue on and continue going. Even if you go down, right? If you go here, you will see that there was a build-up of liquidity as price was going, and price was taking that liquidity. Number one, double top here. Price accumulated money at this particular zone, and when it was retesting here, this was money taken again, money taken, and price went away and took out this liquidity. So it means that if you were trading and you got this trade at this particular zone, this was going to be your target. Why? Because there was liquidity, and it's more often than not, price takes out that liquidity. And remember, when we are talking about liquidity, as we had said, right, we also talk about liquidity that is happening on the what? On the lower time frame. So this is the 15-minute time frame. I just want to show you what liquidity was what liquidity concepts were in play when price was actually trading on the what? On the lower time frames here. I want you to see very carefully that when price was trading here, this was a what? This was a trend line liquidity, right? Liquidity was being built up. So it means when we break this trend line, there is liquidity. And I want you to see that when the trend line is taken out, the final point of the trend line is also what? Taken out. That is how you actually make or you actually anticipate liquidity on a trend line. You look at this again. What are you seeing on this particular zone? You can clearly see that this was a trend line, and when that trend line was taken out, it means that it is the intention of price when a trend line is broken like this is to take all of it, right? All the liquidity that is resting on this trend line. So let me just remove all the drawings here so that you can clearly see what we are doing here. So on this particular zone, what are we doing? We have what? We have liquidity resting on this what? On this trend line, right? You see this trend line here. When price breaks, it breaks and it goes for the final point of that liquidity. And if you look at the final point of this trend line liquidity point, there is a double bottom, and this is also more liquidity. So when it breaks here, you find an entry to take it down to the what? To the final boss, right? So this is how we are going to be trading this and how we are going to be marking liquidity. So let's say, for example, you have your way of marking this particular price, and you are just trying to look for an entry using this. And if you were to enter this yesterday, you were going to see that we have a trend line, or we are going to use this one. We have a trend line break. And what are you going to wait for? You are going to wait for the retest, because you know it's going for the final what? For the final blow. So if you find your order blocks on the higher time frame, right, you come back to the lower time frame, you have to put in these measures as the trend lines. When the trend line is taken out, you know that it's going for all the liquidity that is resting on that particular trend line, and you see how price is going to what to reward you if you use these concepts very well. So just a recap, this concept, the liquidity concept, they help you for entries, they help you for targets, and they help you in projecting your what in projecting your trade. So if this is something that you want to use, what you just have to do is to go back to your charts, try to understand what is happening, try to understand how you can actually integrate this with your strategy that you have already, and see how you can trade with liquidity concept using the double top, the double bottom, and the what and the trend line strategy. So what we are going to be doing now is very simple. If you want to trade these concepts with me, and you want to be trading with me every day and to see what I'm trading, you join the Telegram channel that is in the description down below. And if you want to trade with a prop firm that is trusted, that guarantees you payouts, and that pays you 15% of the money that you make in the challenge phase, don't worry, the links are in the description down below. Make sure you get an account with Funded Next today and enjoy trading like a boss. I will see you in the next video. This was Shox, and I'm out.